All right. Welcome, everyone. Join us as we're going to watch this Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition Nero Dante New Game Devil Hunter Race. This is actually the fourth time that I've had to say that there because I had to jinx myself. I'm probably going to say it really fast, a lot more. I think this is going to be a really epic run. I personally have only seen bits and pieces of a couple Devil May Cry speedruns, so I'm super excited to watch this with you guys. We have some really great runners. We also have some really awesome commentators. You can see their lovely names on the layouts here. And I just want to remind all you guys that this is for charity. It is for Save the Children. Any donations you send in, we're going to try to squeeze them in to get read whenever we can get some time to do that there. And it all goes to a great cause. So I think our commentary team should take it away.
Okay, so my name is DE Cosmic, and I am joined by my good friends. If you just want to introduce yourselves.
Sure. So hello, everyone. My name's The Scruffington. I've only done one run of this game, and it was very bad, but I am very excited to see these two, because Mecha Raznium and Renzi are absolute legends, so you're in for a treat.
I'm kind of the same as Scruffington. I'm Bloodfish the One, and I'm really excited for the run. I haven't even done a run of this game myself. I just run the 5th version of this game, but as an addition.
Yep. So Mecha and Ren are basically the top two titans of this game, and their PBs are about 2 seconds apart. So this is going to be a really good time. So let me just get Mecha pinged here, and we will get started.
To make this more exciting, I also wanted to propose a bet to do the $20 donations for.
Yep.
What? So?
Time starts. Yep.
Oh yeah.
And we're in.
Okay, so the first mission of this game, you are introduced to the main character of the series, Dante. He takes down the leader of the Order of the Sword, and he's basically like an assassin in this, and he's presented to you as an assassin anyway. And you play as the character Nero, who has a motorcycle engine in his sword. And he also has a grab. And this grab against the Dante boss is extremely potent. If Dante pretty much reads all of your inputs, the only thing that he can't really counter is this grab. So you're going to see Ren and Mecha just use that grab to take him out and just try and not get damaged by him at all. So this is a pretty good time now to talk about that there are two types of currency in this game. There's Proud Souls and Red Orbs. Red Orbs are used to buy items, and Proud Souls are used to buy abilities, and you are awarded Proud Souls by the rank that you get at the end of the mission. You can get from D through S, so DCBAS. And the first bit here, that's pretty like canned. This is kind of where things are going to start to shoot off in different directions. They're both going to grab Charge Shot level 1, and then they're going to grab Speed, which is just the sprint of the game, and they're just going to get on into the second mission. Speed just allows you to sprint, after taking a certain amount of steps, and there you're going to start seeing the use of the Charge Shot. So Nero can channel demonic energy into his gun, and this just allows it to do more damage. So you're going to see them use the grab into the Charge Shot in order to take down the demons. And worth noting that they both use the grab to finish that last enemy, because you actually get faster death animations if you kill an enemy with a grab as opposed to Charge Shot 1. Charge Shot level 3, which we'll get later, has a really good death animation, and Becca's gonna actually go for the swag strat here. Ren's gonna go for the tried and true, just kind of run across the room. Mecha, always the showman, dude. Yeah, it saves
one frame ahead, man.
Yeah, it saves 0 time, but it's absolutely swaggy, and that's kind of what you're going to see. The difference between these two runners is, I don't want to call Ren sterile, but he's very, calculated and precise, and just, he always goes for the tried and true. He really strives for consistency. Mecha's more of a showman. He goes for a lot of the riskier stuff. I tend to like Ren's route a lot more, especially with the way that he plays the game, because it really helps you to complete a lot of runs more consistently. But I think that the ceiling on Mechas is a little bit higher, so we're going to see some pretty interesting strats, but definitely come the mid game here. They're not giving me anything crazy to talk about here, because they're just so synced up. These guys are just
They are.
So amazing.
It's just the recording, dude. It's the same runner with different outfits.
Different outfits.
Pre-recorded.
And this is why this run is so hyped between Mekarazmi and Renzir, because they are literally number 1 and 2 on the leaderboards right now. There's only a 2-second difference between these two runners on speedrun.com. And I think Mekarazmi is actually someone that's really helped Renziro learn this game. He's been kind of like a teacher for him. So the stakes are high here, and I'm just excited to see what happens.
Me too.
Mecha's helped a lot of runners, including myself. He has a very unorthodox method of teaching, because he tends to. It's sort of like if somebody were like to take a book and then just like flip through it in front of you and go, okay, here we go.
That's how we do it.
You know, like delve into it. You know, but he's very thorough in what he does, and it's benefited a lot of people because he'll not only explain the route to you, he'll explain a lot of the decisions and everything, and he'll really emphasize like understanding the game on top of understanding the run. And that also helped me when I was learning DMC5 as well. The way he put it to me was roll the dice until you realize that you don't actually have to roll the dice anymore. And this is Burial right here. This is the Fire Pony. There's really no way to cheese this boss, so you just kind of have to do the Exceed attacks here. So Nero, when you rev up his sword, you can rev it instantly by using a 7 or 8 frame window by pressing the Exceed button. The motorcycle engine in his sword will instantly allow him to increase not only his attack power, but also his attack speed. And it'll cause him to descend at a greater speed as well. So when you do these exceeded attacks, you can... Wow, that's a little bit of a different ender. Interesting.
Ren got a bit less lucky with RNG.
Yeah, but it looks like Mecha getting that those invincibility frames there on Burial means that it's going to kind of swing things a little bit in Ren's favor here.
Yeah, so the important thing for both runners here is they did actually get through that fight without taking damage. And that's because when you complete a mission without taking damage, you do get an Proud Souls bonus, and that's going to be very important for both these runners because the more items or abilities you're able to afford throughout the run, the quicker you'll be able to go, basically.
Yeah, so they're going to both be able to grab Charge Shot level 3 as well as Streak. And Charge Shot level 3, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this game is pretty punishing the first 2 missions, because up until like mission 7, other than mission 6, which I'm told is close to impossible to do no damage, you practically have to do no damage so that you can afford all of your upgrades later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's really like, I mean, you can get some pretty good runs done with just mission 1 and 2, but at the level that we're looking at here, both runners are going to want to no damage missions 1 through 5, as well as mission 7 and possibly 8 as well. So the frost enemies here, you're going to see them kind of just do these grabs into the charge shots. Well, that's what Ren likes to do as well. And they're going to use the charge shots to make sure that was a really nice streak there by Mecha to take out the second one.
That was stylish, dude.
That was so good. And unfortunately, Ren getting one of them knocked away there has to kill it from a distance. So both of them heading into the Order of the Swords castle here. And Charge Shot level 3, the thing that this kind of adds in is that you have these things called off targets, basically. So it indirectly halves the number of enemies that you have to deal with in a room, because you can plant a charge shot on an enemy and then just consider it dead and then move on to the next enemy. And the scarecrows in this room have different colors to them. So the blue ones are the ones that you're just going to want to kill normally, and then the yellows and the purples are the ones that they're going to want to use charge shot on. Unfortunate there, Mecha taking a hit, so his Proud Soul route going to be thrown off a little bit. Might have to opt into something closer to Ren's route here. So Ren is going to be doing this skip here coming up. This is the Torture Room skip, or the Helicopter skip. And he's going to be using the momentum from the charge shot into Aerial Rave. And the Aerial Rave charge shot tech there, so you have momentum that is generated by shooting the charge shot in the air, and then you can direct yourself using, if you want to swing to the left, you're going to go right when you charge up again, because you can charge while while doing other stuff. You can charge the charge shot while you're doing other stuff, and that just allows you to propel yourself through that room, just skip all of the platforming.
Yeah, and failing that skip does cost about, what, like 10-15 seconds?
Yeah,
but both runners got it first try because we got the best of the best here.
Absolutely.
Mission 7 skip's the only one I'm worried about. There's like a longer version of this in Mission 7.
Oh, yeah.
That could really turn things around. That's going to be brutal.
I'm really curious.
So they're both runners going to grab this holy water here. Holy waters in this game, they just kind of do like an area of effect damage. So their use is kind of binary, but they're pretty useful throughout the run. So they're going to go ahead and into this room. You see the difference in the setups here. Ren chooses to take one enemy into the corner there, towards the back of the room, whereas Mecha chooses the front. And they're both going to just start cleaning up here. And Ren heading into a room with the Knights. The Knights have shields, and they'll use this to block your attacks, as shields do. Unfortunately for them, you can plant a charge shot on them, and then that'll just take them out, no problem.
This enemy design, I think I fell in love with when I was a kid, and I just picked up this game for the first time. These enemies are what I stayed for, I think. Originally.
Oh yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah. They're really aggressive, too. Something to note on Special Edition, by the way, is that they kind of cranked up the aggression rate of, like, every enemy, especially the bosses. I think the bosses, they just maxed out all of the aggression tables. So, how much enemies are kind of going for both Ren and Mecha's heads is going to be a little bit different from vanilla, because, like, Burial does not do flame pillars on vanilla as much as he does on this version of the game. As well as, like, they added 20% more Proud Soul gain and Red Orb gain, I believe, on this version, because when this game got released, like, 8 years after vanilla, really unfortunate gyros here by Mecha. I forgot to explain A-Blades, by the way. Capcom was like, you know what, guys? I really think that people just want to be spinning in their graves having to deal with this thing. So the gyro blades, after you get Nero's first upgrade, you have to power them up by using the Red Queen, and then you can use the grab in order to kind of send them flying. And the way that you manipulate these gyros is pretty specific, whether or not you want to do an unexceeded strike or an exceeded strike to kind of send them flying around the room. And then they're going to take out that coffin there in the middle. This right here that Ren's beginning is the gyro manip. So on this mission specifically, what you would have to do, like what you would think to do in a casual playthrough, is take one of these gyros, take it down to the end of the hallway. You take one of them back to the middle, and then take the other one back to the middle as well in order to set them up to unlock the boss room. However, you don't have to do this. You can just bring one of them to the middle of the room. So you're going to see two set up on both runners' ends, and then once they get back into this room, you're going to see all four set up, because the third one that they took to the end of the hallway is going to teleport back here.
Yeah, it is really nice that this tech exists, because as anyone might know from playing this game casually, the gyro blades are really annoying to deal with. They're super finicky, they can bounce off walls when you don't want them to, so it is nice that we have some tech here in the speedrun that allows us to make it a little bit more manageable, even though it's super annoying.
They are misbehaving quite a bit today as well, from both sides, with the bounces.
Oh, yeah. And unfortunate charge shot there on Mecha's end, where you saw it kind of clip the other Angelo instead of the Angelo that he was hoping for. And then Ren here is going to get some more enemies to spawn into the room before activating the Gyro Blade, because the good thing about the Gyro Blade in this room is that you can use it to take out a lot of the enemies, should you so choose. However, Ren's going to go for more of a standard approach there before using the Gyro, knocking it away to the light wheel over there. Almost gets clipped as well. And then he's going to use the gyro here to activate the light wheel. As Mecha finishing up the fight. Mecha going to also use the gyro.
Yeah, so even though Mecha did have some mishaps there, they're still only about like 10 seconds apart from each other, so it's really close.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's still a lot ahead.
Oh yeah. The next boss here, Bale. Really clean gyro there by Ren heading into the frog boss, known as Bale. We're hoping for one of two attacks, a jump or frost breath. And if it gives Ren the frost breath, which it does here, this is optimal so you can stun it by attacking the crystals on its head. And then you can use the roulette spin, which are the big spins in the air that Nero does with his sword, to cause a lot of damage alongside Charge Shot 3. Both of them actually get the frost breath, so this is pretty much perfect. This is going to be optimal for both runners, going to keep this run close.
Oh, yeah.
Out of how many attacks? Only 2? 5, I think, right?
Yeah, I think it's like 5, because he can do, he can stand there, he can back up, he can do icicles, he can jump, and he can do frost breath.
Yeah, really nice fight out of both runners there. And I think they've also got the no damage.
Yep.
Yes, I think so too.
So, big thing here, I think, is that Mecha is not going to be able to afford the double jump, whereas Ren was able to afford it, due to Mecha missing the no damage on Mission 3 there. I love the cycle in this room. You do the roulette spin, plant the charge shot, grab the other guy, and then you just do the slam down. Unfortunately, Mecha got wrecked by the fence there.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
Now, was that actually a strat that was found by Ren Zero? Did he come up with that?
I'm not actually sure who found that one, because it definitely wasn't around when I first started running this game.
Okay.
It might have been something that Mecha found out down the line.
Yeah, like, there are a lot of unique things that Ren Zero, after he was kind of brought into the game by Mecha, like, Ren has found a lot of new tech and strategies in the speedrun. So I'm excited to see some of the stuff that he brings to the table in this race here.
Ooh. Very nice adjustment there by Mecha, noticing the enemy's attack pattern there, choosing to descend and sort of stay in the air. Instead of staying in the air, would have gotten clipped otherwise.
What I like about this particular run is, the way I see it, most of the time you can't really like learn all of it by heart. A lot of things just happen, you have to adjust, and it's really like keeps the interest going, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a really good point. This game rewards players that are good at adapting, because a lot of the fights, you have certain tools to make it go the way you want it to, but a lot of times you just have to adapt to what happens. And that's why these two are the best, because they're really good at adapting to things that aren't necessarily going according to plan.
Yeah, the grab tech there that you see, or the snatch tech, where you can actually, to cancel the recovery rate of that long grab, you can just tap the manual exceed button, and that'll cause Nero to enter an animation where he's like revving the sword manually. And you can use that to just cancel the recovery. That's how you see them doing that long grab, like really, really quickly, in order to decloak the those flying enemies.
I think Mecha got hit again, by the way, right?
I think so. We're gonna see here on the results screen. Ren making it out of there with the no damage as well. No damage there. So let's see on Mecha's end.
Oh, he did take damage.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
So what Mecha is going to have to do at this point is, because I know that his optimal herb route is definitely not this. So
no, it's not.
He'll probably have to forego some of the upgrades for Dante later on. The fish here, by the way, this room we used to think was random, but if you move along the side here, along the left, and then shoot the fish right about when you reach that piece of debris there, and then you shoot a charge shot into the crowd, it will always catch all of them, and then you can do a streak in order to bring them all out of the ground. Also, the dice here, so you can manipulate this die. This is not what I was talking about earlier when I said roll the die until you don't have to roll the die anymore. That's more of a mentality thing. This is
actually meant this.
No, I didn't mean this. No, that was a mentality thing, like a strat finding mentality thing. Philosophical speedrun stuff, you know, nerd stuff. But you can manipulate this die because the top face of the die it always goes 1, 4, 2, 6, 3, 5. So as long as you use Nero's grab or you use the sword in order to hit it, you can just... Oh, missed input there by Mecha, going to cost him some time. Accidentally goes on the wrong side of the die. So, Ren going to be heading into the next boss fight as well. This is one of the best games ever made, ladies and gentlemen. and it has a boss fight that's a window. Just let that sink in there for a second. All right. I'm serious. This is one of the best games ever made. But, you know.
But it also has a window for a boss fight.
But it also
kind
has a
of
window.
Controversial, but it's true.
So fortunately, just pointing out Mecha's screen, even though he did mess up the dice manipulation there, he didn't trigger one of the fights, because if you hit one of the red buttons, you'll have to fight some enemies, so he didn't lose as much time as he could have there.
That's true. There's even one that where like you activate some lasers and that costs you just a flat 30 seconds.
Oh,
You have to run away from them for a flat 30 seconds because of the timer that's there.
I think Ren got mission 6 no damage as well, which is
He
amazing.
might,
by the way.
yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, like doing this fight no damage is incredible. See Mecha getting clipped there again because these
Not
swords.
allowed.
There's really not a good way to optimize this fight. You just kind of throw swords at the window and then you just kind of pray, you know? So Ren making it out of there with no damage is so crazy. Here we go. There's the grab in Devil Trigger. So Nero gets his spoilers. Okay. Virgil is his father. And he gets Virgil's katana in this game, and it gives him the ability to go into Devil Trigger. And Devil Trigger is a powered up state where you do more damage, you can attack faster, and in Nero's case, he's got a JoJo stand as well. Yes, I know. Shocking. Watch the
Never
cutscene.
expected you to make a Weeb reference. Honestly.
Look, man, Stone Ocean's coming out. Okay, we gotta send it.
So I'll be honest with you guys, Ren Zero is kind of putting on a clinic right now. He's had a really solid run here.
This is unfortunately kind of the thing with Mission 6 is that if you get a bad window fight, it can just cost you upwards of 30 seconds just because the window is just like, nah, dude, it's good. I had my Windex out, I was clean, and then you're just not clean, you know? And it's just like, nope, this is not how it's gonna happen. So this is really where you start to see a lot of deviations on pace, especially when you're going for PVs and stuff. You can hit some very clean mission 1 through 5s, you know, and then you get to mission 6 and it's like, why are my splits red right now? What did I do, man?
Funnily enough, Window is actually a hard boss fight as well, that you'd never expect it to.
Yeah, I'd rather not Home Depot decide my pace for PVs, but you know, here we are. And so now Ren is going to be finishing up mission 6.
And he actually got the no damage as well.
Yeah, that would be crazy. No damaging mission 6 is actually so rare that it's not even in the optimal Proud Soul route right now. Yeah, he did
He
get
did
no
no
damage.
damage. Holy
Wow,
hell. He's
that's
cheating.
crazy.
Okay, never mind.
It's too good, dude.
He
So
is.
Ren's going to actually turn off the turbo function, which in Special Edition increases the work rate of the game by about 20%. And so he's going to turn it off because on Mission 7 here, there's a skip that's based on the physics that are happening at a 120 FPS frame rate. You can do this with Virgil at 60 FPS, no turbo. But basically the way that physics are affected by turbo allows this skip to not be done at turbo. And I'm going to kind of just talk about this because the rest of this level is kind of canned. So they're going to set up on a grip pad for the grab that will pull them over a chasm, but they're going to stand at a specific spot that's going to make it so that they land it's like right on the edge, like near out of bounds. And it's going to allow them to jump out of bounds and then go to a room, a door at the bottom of the room that will lead them right to the boss fight at the very end.
What the difficulty of it against the turbo mode is as well is because you have to time your charge shots and stuff to get proper velocity, but your all timings get messed up when you're so used to playing on turbo mode versus with turbo mode off. So it's kind of making it even more difficult, I believe.
Oh yeah, it pretty much totally changes the timing. Really, Ren really playing this close to the chest here. Oh my goodness, going for the...
So clean, though.
He was confident, dude.
Yeah.
And so now he skipped like half the level. He also skipped the last gyro blade in the game, so that's a win for everybody. And he's going to head right into the boss fight against the She-Viper, Echidna. And he's going to grab this trigger heart here, which increases the amount of time that you can spend in Devil Trigger. And he's going to also grab 3 purple orbs, which will... increase the maximum amount of meter that he can hold for Devil Trigger. You start out with 3, now he's got 6. And that's also going to refill that bar. So he's going to use the air dash there with the sword called Caliber. And then the Echidna's going to go into her flower form. And he's going to plant charge shots on her and then bust out all of the JoJo references. Intold charge shots up again. Release it. Yes. Yeah. And then here we go. The Weed Whacker. He's going to mash that Exceed and take her down.
Yeah, really clean fight from Ren there.
You should hear their keyboards when they mash that. Seriously, swear to God.
Oh yeah, fun fact, both of these runners use keyboards.
Oh yeah, they do.
Kind of rare for DMC runners.
Not for Russian DMC runners, though, as far as I'm aware.
True.
Yeah, a lot of Russian DMC runners play on keyboard. They really make it work. And I mean, we even had like Cool Karma in DMC1 using keyboard. That was sick.
Yeah.
It actually makes sense in DMC4 because the fights can be controlled like a bit more precisely with the keyboard, while movement speed can be a bit more precise on a pad, so it's kind of balanced. Yeah.
Yeah, like you get more precise combat controls, I think, on keyboard, but you have like the analog movement of the controller, as you said. Personally, I'll always use controller for DMC though, man. Can't make me go for it. Can't make me go back.
I'm actually a huge fan of the keyboard. DMC5 is one of my first games to like actually play a lot on a controller, other than maybe Gungeon sometimes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
really awkward for me.
Good. And it really helps with this game too that you can remap all of your controls prior to beginning the game, so you can set up everything for both Nero and Dante to your liking, you know. And this is something that I wish had been in DMC5, but unfortunately you can only set it up for Nero.
It's really weird like that, isn't it? It's just trying to spoil, not spoil the game for you that there are 2 other characters and stuff originally. I guess that's why.
Kind of weird.
But it's really inconvenient as well.
We also have, after I explain this puzzle here, we'll be able to kick it over to some donations for a bit, because we've been talking for a hot minute. So, this forest puzzle here, you basically have to run away from the shadows, not the hedgehogs, but the actual shadows on the ground. And then once you run away from them, which is, I think it's like forward and then right and then left is the way, and that just avoids all of the fights here. So, we can also kick it over to some donations now.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. You guys have been doing such an amazing job on the commentary. I am just enamored right now, especially since it's been so close at the start. Like I said at the beginning of the run, this is a charity event. We are raising money for Save the Children. We're currently actually at $1,044, so 1044. Now, that actually can do a lot. From what Save the Children have provided me here, $1,000 can actually provide a tanker truck of clean water to a remote village during a drought. Now, if you think about it, summer has been really hot. Like, even here, it has been 30 degrees Celsius, not even Fahrenheit. Celsius, so that's probably like 80 or... I don't do freedom units, unfortunately. But with the humidity, it reaches 40 degrees Celsius. It's really hot. And, you know, we at least have water, air conditioning, things like that. So the fact that this event has already raised enough to provide a whole tanker truck of clean water is just astronomical. Thank you, everyone. And you know, if you can't donate, just tell 2 friends, and then those 2 friends can tell 2 friends, and then we can all watch this really epic Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition Nero Dante New Game Devil Hunter race. I'm gonna kick it. Got a little bit tongue-tied there. I'm gonna kick it back to you guys.
And speaking of clean, Ren Zero taking out Credo, the best boss in the entire series. Again, as 'Scruff' mentioned, putting on a clinic right now.
I wanted to ask, by the way, why do they need Showdown? Because that's the only way to maximize damage during the stun phase of the boss? Or
Yeah,
I
pretty
wasn't
much.
sure.
So with Credo here, he has a bunch of attacks that he can do, and when he's stunned, you can use Showdown, which is a move that's only available in Devil Trigger, and Nero just like, you know, winds up the Weeb Mobile and then unleashes a fury of attacks, and it does a ton of damage. There's certain setups that you can do for it that are guaranteed, like the spear here, and then you can just use that in order to. If you do that like 3 times, it'll probably take him out. The other methods, they're a little bit less risky, but they're also slower. Also, the knights here that Ren is fighting against, they have a chance to give you. Oh, he's very low on health here. This could turn the tides, and this is, that's their big old Power Ranger attack, the ball, also just known as the ball, and that's a totally random attack that they can give you, and then you can just knock it back at them with the charge shot there. Gives you a lot of red orbs, and allows you to just kill them all pretty much instantly.
Yeah, ideally you want to see that ball come up, ideally like as soon as the fight starts, but sometimes runners will wait a little bit because it is the quickest way to get through this fight. Like here, Ren got pretty good RNG there. The ball. Really nice.
Unfortunate here on Ren's part, I know he doesn't really like to go for the ball strat there on the first Angelo fight. He has kind of a setup that he does, but he kind of has to opt into it anyway there. Had to hang back a little bit from being so low. There's a skip here too to skip the first part of the elevator of this level. So Ren's just going to charge up Exceed and then use a lot of height gain tools here, repurposing those combat mechanics for movement in order to get all the way up.
Really nice skip.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that's one thing this game has is super stylish skips. So if you love seeing those in speedruns, this game is like perfect for you.
It's just a perfect game.
Yeah, it really is.
That's fair.
Balls thing is also one of the hard things, like decision making wise, as a runner, because you have to decide whether or not you want to wait and see if you're gonna get balls, or if you want to kill one of the guards first and deny them the Power Ranger mode.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I really do like Ren's route a lot, just because he has, I think, 2 or 3 less ball strats than most runners in his PB, and you know, as somebody that is trying to just get a lot of PB attempts in, especially the ones that get as far as mission 9 here, it's a lot more comforting to somebody like me that is, you know, like I don't want to always be beholden to that attack. So it's really nice that Ren came along and came up with these strats that are a little bit more consistent, even if we don't get to see them just yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. As you said in the beginning, you like the fact that he's like very clean with stuns and he can finish many with his own strat.
So here's Mecha as well. Ooh, just barely makes it. Very nice. And a clean boss fight there by Ren as well. That moth, by the way, if you've played Devil May Cry 5, that's Nico's dad. I'm not going to explain that. So, moving into mission 10 here. I think, well, let's see how Mecha's doing here on his end. Looking to be kind of just keeping pace here with Ren as well.
Yeah, the nice thing for Mecha in this race is that even though he's really behind in terms of Proud Souls and abilities, he's not creating such a gap between him and Ren that he can't come back. He's a very good player that he can adapt to the Orb deficit, or the Proud Souls deficit here.
Absolutely. So,
Too many hours in the game.
So many.
Am I able to hop in really quickly here, boys?
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
MIT Battery just actually donated $20 with the comment, DMC is always so hype. Just thank you very much, MIT Battery. Just, you are an amazing person, and I hope your day continues to be amazing while you watch this run.
My man's Battery. What's up, dude?
We have to agree. DMC is always hype.
Always, man, always. So, Mecha about to wrap up the fight here against Agnes. Agnes, by the way, a boss that you'll typically, you'll typically kind of try and manipulate his health to the point where you keep him out of certain ranges, because the summons that Agnes has are dependent on the amount of health that he has. So if you can keep him out of a certain health range, he won't spawn more problematic summons like the fish, which tend to interrupt a lot more of your attacks. Also, here's the laser hallway.
Yeah, coming up on Ren's screen here, he's about to do another skip. Now, if you remember what Ren and Mecha were doing back in Mission 3 for the skip there, the same strategy is basically going to be employed here.
Looks like he's got it.
I love how the velocity in this game works, that you can preserve momentum and just change its direction mid-air. It's really cool, I think.
Yeah, it's
really nice.
It's very good, and it especially complements the for the speedrun in a way. It especially complements the way that the levels are designed. You know, in something like DMC5, we have a lot of tools to do things similar to this, not in the same way, but to gain the same sort of proportional distance or height. But with the way that the levels are designed, we can't really do a whole lot like that.
I'd even say it doesn't feel as natural. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it though. It just feels like it's a part of movement of this game. It feels like we go out of our way in DMC5 to do it. Yeah, I got
That's true. Yeah, it looks a little bit more. It looks like more like you're going with the flow of the game. Also, really nice Dante fight here on the side of Ren. This is Mecha's good chance to gain a little bit of time, but unfortunately, Ren beats up the old guy here and is just going to be moving onward. I will be able to explain that too once Mecha gets there. Rude. And so Ren also going to employ another skip here. This is pretty similar to the skip that we saw in Mission 9. Of note, for a lot of these skips, when you play at 120, you actually gain more height off of stuff like the spins in the air. At 60, you gain less height, but you can do them faster. At 120, you have to delay them a little bit more, but they gain more height. So typically, and also because of Mission 7 requiring 120 FPS, that's one of the reasons that we play these characters at 120 FPS. I think some other things are kind of changed, but a lot of the way that this game operates is like a lot of the behaviors for moves are based on FPS. So like Virgil, for example, totally breaks at 120 FPS. So he's played at 60 FPS. Ren also opting to grab the small Devil Star there. Let's see if the Angelo here... Oh, here we go with Dante. So what you want to do here with Dante is use the Charge Shot and plant that on him. Unfortunately, Mecha getting a rather weird setup there with Devil Trigger. And you want to use Charge Shot 3 on Dante in order to cause a bunch of damage. You want to ideally do these grabs as well in Devil Trigger in order to cause more damage. Mecha is losing a little bit of time here. Dante being very uncooperative. Whereas on the side of Ren, Angelo's being a little bit uncooperative.
I mean, you gotta be uncooperative at least once in like a race run.
Exactly.
The game gots to.
Alright, so that guy that Dante killed at the beginning of the game, the leader of the Order of the Sword, he's back. And he's got a god complex. So we know what Nero does to the other guy that tried to step on his toes. Now we're going to see what he does to the guy that he originally thought, was his leader, and he now knows is his enemy, Duff City.
He just pretty much lets the weave out, let's be honest.
And then you can knock away that hand there, and just going to take him down with one more grab.
This fight is always so satisfying to watch.
Yeah, it's great.
Just punching old men.
Your time is up, old man.
Got him.
Mecha, I think, probably going to opt for the ball strat here, where we saw Ren try and do a setup where he could cycle all three enemies instead. I think probably my favorite line in that. Mecha also probably not going to get the ball attack here, so gonna have to maybe do a little bit of damage control. Gonna have to sacrifice the Devil Trigger in order to make sure that they all die quickly.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the bigger problems with the ball strat, is that sometimes you just wait for it to spawn and it doesn't happen for you.
Yup. Now, Ren moving into Dante here, going to do a lot of buys because Dante is effectively this game's Swiss Army knife. So a lot of his tools are sectioned off into different weapons. And so you kind of just have to cycle through a lot of stuff. You can switch up his fighting style, his weapons. He has the Devil Trigger that's, pretty similar to Nero's, but it's a little bit more traditional because he was the first. So Ren's going to use that Holy Water there to take out the room. A little bit of a mini skip here coming up as Mecha ends the Leader of the Order of the Sword's first phase. And is going to go ahead and knock the hand away. Ren skipping over that entire fight that he would have had to do otherwise. Using the sword spins there to gather money from the orb crystals there. Dante, as opposed to Nero, has to pretty much do a lot of the orb farming in this run. All the orb crystals you have to use, or you have to grab together with Dante.
Do they get anything on Dante other than styles, by the way? Style upgrades, I mean? In this run?
Well, you do a couple of gun upgrades, and you also do, like, you get double jump, you get, if you have enough money for it, you get enemy step, and you get more perks and stuff. As well as, like, Stinger and all that.
Now, the thing with the Dante section of the run, just in case there's someone that hasn't played through this game before, Dante will be going through all the same missions that Nero went through. So if you remember all the bosses that Nero fought, like Bale, Burial, Dante's going to go through all of them because this game does have a lot of recycled fights there. And us DMC 5 runners know a thing or two about those. Shadows Terrorism.
Yeah, right. Shout out. So, a good way to think about this game's content is like there's this, Devil May Cry is very often synonymous with like slices of pizza. So imagine if you took that slice of pizza and then folded it up in half to eat it a little bit more comfortably. That's kind of how this game is. It folds itself in half to let you like digest the characters. Okay, anyway, so Ren Zero is going to be heading up for the ball strat here on the Angelos. Unfortunately, they don't give it to him. They instead give him the suicide attack. And then he's just going to have to clean it up. So, not very fortunate on the side of Ren here. Bonk.
When I first played this game, it was kind of fun for me as well, the fact that I had to replay through it on Dante. It's like being able to compare how you would do the same rooms and the same boss fights with like your favorite character as opposed to Nero, which was just introduced in this one. And I was having the time of my life with that, actually.
Yeah, in this game I think it really does work because the core mechanics for both Nero and Dante are just so much fun to use. And being able to explore all the bosses with both characters is it's cool, especially in the context of a speedrun like this.
Now, Scruff, my question to you as somebody that's new to running this game, is how do you find learning Dante in this game as opposed to 5? Because the stuff that these guys are doing with this character is pretty impressive and really clean. So what's your experience been like?
So what I'll say for Dante and DMC4, at least compared to 5, since that's the game that I really started with, this game does seem to rely a little bit less on like canned fights or canned cycles. You do have some really big useful tools like distortion, real impacts, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. But Dante does seem to emphasize a lot more of adapting to the situation and where enemies spawn, what they're doing, because the enemies in this game are very aggressive compared to in DMC5, for example.
Mecha taking on the lasers.
I was gonna say, Mecha does the royal releases there in royal guard stance.
Stylish.
Like I said, man, Mecha is the showman. Ren just, man after my own heart, just trickster dashes right through.
Yeah, their own, I guess.
Going back to what Scruff said, this character is definitely a little unwieldy. Really requires a lot of adaptation and you know, a lot of these fights, he gets thrown into them, you know, and you don't have a whole lot of tools. Once you get those tools, you're pretty much set. But in these first couple of levels, when you only have your base kit, the enemies are pretty tough to deal with. So good on both of these guys for really staying solid despite, you know, some of the mishaps here. Especially on Ren's part with the Angelos there. If you don't get a ball on that room, it's pretty tough to try and salvage that one.
Yeah, for a lot of these early fights here, Ren Zeros, well, both runners will probably be using the prop shooter move that you just saw Ren using for those enemies. I'm gonna be honest, that's one of my favorite moves in the whole series. It just feels super satisfying in this game too.
Yeah, it's really good. It's definitely, like, I think Dante's most damaging option up until, you know, we get the next weapon here after the second fight with the She Viper.
I assume that's part of the reason why they played this game for like as many hours as they have as well, is because you kind of have to adapt and it doesn't get boring because you still have to pay attention even if it's your 3000th run basically.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. Skill ceiling very, very high. So Ren here heading into the boss fight against Echidna. And gonna use the aerial strikes there. Hopefully she doesn't go. Okay, there we go. Very nice. She's going to go into Flower. She's going to use Prop Shredder. And then is going to just start whacking away with Combo A. And because, for whatever reason, he gets better luck than me, she's going to stay... Okay, she did get stunned. Alright, that's fine. Just for whatever reason, she always gives me this whack attack. And it just throws off the entire cycle. After he gets her down to about 3 bars of health here, he's going to use the Holy Water. That's going to take her out.
I didn't know a combo A was an option for this one. I thought they used Shred before.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah.
I think that, I think it was Art Killer that found that.
I see.
I think that's what I used when I ran this game.
Prop? Or did you use Combo A? Yeah,
I
Prop
used
is
the Prop
pretty
Shredder.
solid. Yeah, Prop is solid. Prop Shredder is really good for that fight. The entire purpose pretty much is that you just need to stun Echidna. And then you can just, you know, work on whacking away and just, you know, cleaning out the weeds. And take her down to that 3 bars of health. Now, this mission here that Ren's heading into, as we see Mecha heading through the forest puzzle. This mission here has killed many a run. And it is because of a single enemy called the Faults. We're going to talk about those before we get into Gilgamesh, which are the gauntlets that Dante is using right now. So the Faults are an enemy that pops up from the floor. And if it catches you, you know, sleeping, then it will take you down into a forced fight. You then have to restart the fight that you were doing when the fault caught you. So the potential to lose time here on any missed play is like indefinite, basically. So it's a really, really punishing mission, especially on some of the higher difficulties.
Also, the
just make it seem easy.
yeah, they really do. Also, the strategy that you saw Ren using for those enemies was called it's called Real Impact, but they're using something called Distortion Real Impact, which you can perform by activating Devil Trigger after the first or the second hit of Real Impact.
Yeah. So the way that Distortion works is that there are frames in this game where collect my thoughts for a second here, where the Devil Trigger model and the human model of Dante overlap. And this creates an instance of double damage. You can do this by turning off and on Devil Trigger. So you can create at least 2 instances of double damage during Real Impact that will, you know, do significantly more damage. So you get tons and tons of damage on that move. The straight punches there that you see them doing as well, you can also distort those. And they do a ton of damage. And they're also doubling up on that damage by doing a just frame charge, or like a nearly like frame perfect charge on that punch. So you'll hear like a wow or like a rev up sound on Gilgamesh because it has like the gears on it and stuff. Oh my good, Ren, you gotta stop doing this, dude.
Holy shit, my heart is
Give me a heart attack. Yeah.
Me too, dude.
Because
This
if he
goes
gets
to show
yoinked by
how
that thing,
confident he is.
yeah, if he gets yoinked by the thing, he just loses a lot of time. So he's playing it close there, but he got through.
Mecha used the Shred, by the way.
Oh, okay. He's sticking with old tried and true, man.
I think with the frame attacks, by the way, Mecha said there is 2 to 4 frames. I'm not sure. I think I asked him yesterday. I think so.
I just wanted to make it sound cool, dude. You had to
I'm sorry. Oh, come on.
Everybody knows that the trick's not cool unless it's frame perfect, man.
Ren got it way too many times for me to believe it's frame perfect and he's not cheating, especially after that mission 6, dude.
Alright, so here we go. As Ren heads into mission 15. Mecha, I don't think he's lost a ton of time here. What are you two looking for in terms of like the choke points here? You know, with your understanding of the run here. Because I got some ideas where this could kind of turn around in Mecha's favor. But I want to hear from you fellas.
You need to think.
Need to think? All right,
I also need to think.
You also need to think. Get back to me, gentlemen. As we go into this this enemy called the Blitz. The Blitz has an energy shield or a lightning shield around it. We don't actually deal with it because, yay, we can use the holy water to kill it. It would go into like a desperation type move here as well. And we just kind of hang back from it.
I can only think of like one skip, but I don't think it's failable for these guys. The
You never know,
one
man.
with... Is that what you had in mind, though?
Gas?
Okay.
I was saying like, yeah, gas skip probably.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess I am worried for the second round of the dice, which we'll see later for Mecha, since he did have that mishap earlier.
That's really weird.
Oh boy, and Ren just did that knockback on the ball there, pretty much blind. Very good. Very clean Angelo fight. That's kind of another problem there with this level, is you can lose a ton of time on that fight as well as the next couple of fights here too. Mecha, by the way, getting out of mission 14 pretty cleanly and handily. I don't know why I was ever worried, man. These guys are they're just sending it.
Yeah, it's really impressive to see Mecha just getting through despite the Proud Souls disadvantage he had at the start of the run. Really shows that he's just very knowledgeable about the game and he can adapt to a lot of things going wrong here.
Raising APM there by just switching styles back and forth. It's a cool guy move.
Oh yeah, you gotta do the trick sword, man. Trick sword. Like Mecha gonna head into the fight, the quote-unquote fight against the Blitz, as Ren getting ready to wrap up the Mega Scarecrows here. Needs to be careful that he doesn't use too much Devil Trigger. Okay, good. Excellent. So the next room here against the Frost enemies that we saw way back on Mission 3. There's gonna be a bunch of them, and Ren is going to be able to use Real Impact into a jump cancel, so he's going to step off the enemy's head as they're dying in order to cancel the recovery of Real Impact and then be able to launch the next enemy into the air. This is one of those few canned rooms in the game that you really need to make sure in your runs, if you want to have those good times, you just clean it up, make sure that you can get around to all the enemies and take them down. Unfortunate step back there by Ren. See, the room is now kind of thrown off. Gotta deal with using a little bit of extra Devil Trigger to deal with these attacks. The Knights also kind of giving Mecha what for as he uses the Real Impact here. Cleaning them up. Good skip here on Ren's side. Gold Angelo formation still not giving Mecha good luck here. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Very nice. The furniture there as well. Getting in Ren's
Frost room is actually really stressful as well. It's like, as Cosmic said, one misstep and you might end up losing a lot of time, since they can regenerate, they can stun you, they can become invulnerable. They got all the time loss up their hand.
They can even kill you too. That's happened to me a few times. And if you die in that room, the checkpoint in this mission will set you back by a couple of rooms. So it is a huge time loss.
Oh yeah, that's right. Why'd you have to? Oh my gosh. Alright, so here we go. Frog as well. Going down. So here's that distortion damage that Scruff was talking about. Oh my goodness. Real Impact, baby.
What's with the face, Frog?
So
This
here,
is Dante's inner weeb, I guess.
yeah. Well, he's
Yeah.
outer weeb. He's not even inner at this point. It's all out there. So this next skip here is called Zenbu Skip or Gas Skip. It was found by a guy named One Sanitarium back in 2019. It single-handedly brought Mecha back to this game because it saves like 2 minutes and takes out most of one of the like worst sections of the run to deal with, where there's like gas that's draining your health the entire time. So check this out. Unfortunate.
Oh no, I jinxed it, dude.
You
That was
can't
my
just-
fault.
He can't just make a liar out of me, dude. This is just unfortunate. And he
Yeah, this
jinxed
was
it
for you.
too.
Never mind.
I mean, it's both of us, dude. We're gonna have to talk to him after the race. Like, man, why didn't you just land that first try? Come on.
First thing on my list is actually talking to Mecha about the dice, dude. To be honest.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Mecha has an opportunity to catch up here. Ren
Yeah,
Zero.
this skip is really hard.
It actually is really hard. I could try to talk about the inputs, but just naming them would take about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's definitely a dense one. There we go. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Feeling absolutely beautiful. First try. And that right there skips like 2 minutes of the run, or 2 minutes of this level, and just allows you to just head straight on up here into the castle, and then Ren's gonna just make his way to the outside, you know, where Nero came from, because Dante's making his way back to Fortuna, the city that Nero was in at the beginning of the game, because he has to close the Hell Gates. Frog goes down on Mecha's end.
Someone in chat says Ren lost the WR pace run to this skip yesterday. I'm assuming maybe the stress of yesterday was the cause for this, even though it's really hard. I don't know why I was sure it was the first try.
That would do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always one of those things, right? You know, like, I mean, Scruff and I know this for sure, and I guess you do too, Bloodfish, is that when you get to those skips that can just make or break a run, like, if you failed a few runs to it, you know, back to back maybe, when you get there, it's just inevitable. Even if, you know, you're behind and you're just kind of trying to squeak something out, it's like, it's always in the back of your head, like, man, I really don't want to mess this up.
Yeah.
Even in a reset situation like this.
I'm stuck in M9 for like a month now, dude. What do you mean? Maybe you know this too.
Ooh, first try from Mecha. Really nice. That's gonna gain him some time here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this skip, I don't know if it's a hot take, but I'm gonna just say it. This is the coolest skip in speedrunning. I really think it is.
I definitely think it's the coolest skip in DMC, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think to me the coolest skip in speedrunning so far I've seen is probably, what's it called?
Really
What's
clean.
the swamp in Dark Souls 3 called?
I
forget.
Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
It's called.
No, that's not what it's called.
Oh, Cosmic. Really insightful.
Thank you. I'll get back to you on this when I remember. Oh yeah, Farron skip I think? Yeah.
Yeah, that
That's
sounds
the
right.
first one for me.
Really clean burial, by the way. There, you remember that boss that gave Nero some trouble all the way back on mission 2? Dante just 3-shot him. Oh, that's cool. And Mecha about to head into that fight as well. He's definitely gained some ground. And Ren having to do a little bit of extra menuing here. Actually, he wouldn't. I don't think he would have needed to be honest. Oh, he might have. Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely a good call there on the menuing.
Explain?
He had to go and refund Trickster level 4 in order to be able to afford the upgrades for Lucifer, which is the weapon that we just got. And I'm just waiting for the folks at home, Bloodfish, don't worry. I know you know what Lucifer is. And the upgrades for the Pandora as well. The Pandora suitcase. So, this is the second to last Dante mission. And this is definitely the toughest, I think. This is definitely one of the toughest in the game, just overall. Burial, by the way, going down to Mecha really cleanly. And Ren hoping for a ball here from the Angelos.
It doesn't look like they're gonna give it to him.
No, it does not.
Oh.
Ooh,
See, I tried to
killed it.
reverse commentator curse him by giving him
That
good
never
RNG.
worked. Come on.
Unfortunately, it did not work.
That has never worked in the history of mankind.
He is a little low here. What is this Angelo doing? What is going on? He is really low here. This,
armor.
that could have been super unfortunate.
That was scary.
Ren seriously making my heart race the whole run today almost.
He's really got to be careful about dropping some of these, some of this easy time loss here, especially this health here. This could be really fatal for him, especially coming into the alleyway fight. This is definitely one of the hardest fights in the run, just because of the way that the layout's structured. These flying enemies, you know, there's a point in this map where if you decloak them, there's a ton actually, where if they get decloaked and they fall out of bounds, they'll immediately recloak. And it makes this fight a absolute nightmare to navigate. Especially with how cluster a lot of these enemies are.
Ren.
Fortunately.
So far.
He also got some green orbs for full of health. there.
All good back
Mecha.
and back.
Mecha just looks like he's just going for gold here. Going with those real impacts.
Yeah, I think he made it some
Almost
time
caught
on that
up.
fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
This is definitely a close race. Like, it is not over by a long shot. Especially since we have a ton of boss fights coming up here.
So Mecha's starting the cursed alleyway. Ren's
Is
gonna
it what-
take out. Go ahead.
Is it what you call it, like as in speedrunners, or is it actually what it's called, the cursed alleyway?
Oh no, I just called it the cursed alleyway, just right there. Just like I thought of it like 5 seconds ago.
If you would have
Right
said
here.
otherwise, I would have believed you. So your loss, I guess.
Well, maybe next time. Maybe next time. All right, so Ren is gonna he kills 4 of the enemies here in order to spawn in the next 2 waves, and then he can do an optimal holy water. He uses a ground pound there to do some damage to the dogs that come up. As Mecha heads into the fight itself, definitely making up some time on this level on Mecha's side. And Ren
Holy.
heading into. Go ahead.
The frame perfect hits on Mecha, absolutely, dude. 4 in a row, 5 in a row, all of them
Super
hits.
clean. Yeah.
Yep.
Been playing, this man has been playing some DMC4 for a while.
A
Yeah.
hot minute. Yeah.
He calls this game a rhythm game at this point, which I completely understand. I don't see it that way because of the lack of the experience, but I can appreciate how it's a rhythm game for him at this point.
Devil Dance Revolution, man. DDR.
That's a good one.
Hey, sometimes I'm clever. Not a lot, but sometimes. So here right now that Ren's heading into is the it's a really tough fight. I really like the use of the holy water here by Ren to clear out the dogs that are spawning. Makes it a little bit easier to take down Agnes' health with real impacts. Then he's just going to charge up after the boss is down. Really, really clean
Man.
fight. That the variance on this fight, by the way, is like a minute or so. If you get a bad one, it's like a minute. It's absolutely nuts. So Mecha going with more of a traditional strat here, just letting the dogs here. Oh, manages to make it through, but
Not enough damage.
not enough.
Unfortunate.
And you see where that holy water comes in that I was talking about on Ren's side. That would have been a free 2 bars of health here for Mecha to take out. He's got to deal with 3 instead. Now down to 2. Is going to be taking a bunch of damage. There's the holy water. And the savior here. So basically you have to just do 2 laser cannons at the very start to knock this boss down. Then you have to cycle around the boss in order to take out. That's a weird strat. I've not seen that before. That Angelo also went off the side completely. Not sure I agree with DT management here on Ren's part. We're gonna see how it pans out. So So, crystals are down. He's got to set up to get on the boss's left arm. And use a gun shift here. Oh, this is unfortunate RNG here. Mecha has a little bit of time to make up. Okay, never mind. We're good. Also kind of unfortunate there on the balls.
Mecha did the exact same DT management, by the way.
Interesting. Oh. I guess I'm about to learn out here today.
You're welcome.
Alright, so let's see if Mecha gets some decent RNG here. Not really looking like it. Yeah, not getting that left hand right away. There we go. Ren setting up for the quick kill on the Savior. We'll see if he gets hit. He's going to have to do a level 2 distorted straight. There we go. Tons of damage into the real impact. Sheesh. Now that's a lot of damage.
I mean, to be honest, that's why I came here today, not to commentate or anything, but just to learn the run from a bit closer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Very good opportunity.
Yeah, especially these are two very good runners to learn it from.
Oh, yeah. Literally can't find any two better.
Oh yeah.
So let's see if Mecha gets this as well. That's a lot of damage. And it's good.
Nice.
Ren, it looks like, forgetting to buy a little bit here. So, gonna have to go back into the menu. Grab some upgrades for the Yamato, the Katana. As well as Max Act, which allows you to rev all 3 levels of Exceed at once with, I think that's actually frame perfect. That's like 1 or 2 frames.
Yeah,
Mecha gonna do the same. You see now the menuing mishap here on Ren's side closes the gap even a little bit further.
Oh yeah, this is getting really close right now.
Oh yeah.
Clenching.
Mind if I just hop in really quickly, please?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, go for it.
Perfect. Honestly, I'm super pumped at how close this race is becoming. It is my job, though, to slightly interrupt and remind that this event is for Save the Children. As amazing as this run is, the amount that we've already raised of $1,064 is also really amazing. And I appreciate everyone watching, and I appreciate everyone who donated. If you're wondering what you can do, you can always just tell 2 friends, and those 2 friends can tell 2 friends. But even if you donate only $1, that provides 4 children with treatment against pneumonia, one of the top 5 killers of kids under the age of 5. And, you know, kids want to play Devil May Cry when they grow up, you know, because those ESRB ratings. So we want to make sure they don't get pneumonia, so they can also maybe become the next top speedrunner of Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition Nero Dante New Game Devil Hunter Race. Back to you guys.
Really unfortunate. Thank you very much, by the way, Aries. Really unfortunate turn of events here for Ren. Was not able to afford a Holy Water. So could not do that first fight there. Has to go back in. Mecha has now pulled totally ahead. Very unfortunate there here for Ren Zero. Not a good calculation.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, unless he misses another dice.
That's true. Always a possibility. Gets eaten by the frog here, though. And he's going to take him down with that projectile there into the bite. Ren going to start making up time here. He's got to hope that Mecha makes a serious error at this point, because he probably knows he's lost a lot of time. Unfortunate.
I'm having a hard time getting over how close this race is, honestly, and how back and forth at some point. And they were on pace for like good 40 minutes as well. It felt like no one was budging even a little bit. They were just on the exact same pace with the difference they already had.
Yeah, we've seen Mecha really just kind of creeping up slowly and slowly as the game's gone on. Just really demonstrating that consistency that he has, and even, you know, throwing in that little bit of showman too.
And that's why it's so captivating to watch these 2 top runners, because I'm sure Ren Zero, if he were put in Mecha's position where he's facing this Proud Souls deficit from the start of the run, he would also be able to just stick with it, put his head down and keep grinding. And so seeing Mecha come back in this race is really cool. But of course, it's not over.
No, it
There's
is.
a lot of run left to go.
They're on pace to, man, these two are so good. This is on pace to be like, I don't know. I think like 6 minutes better than my PD or something crazy. No, maybe not that much. Maybe like 4. That's insane.
Pre-recorded segmented run. Changed my mind. 2 of them.
2 of them.
With few minor mistakes here and there to make it believable.
Right though. Who are these guys? Stop them. Alright, so Ren heading into the Echidna fight. Mecha encountering a little bit of trouble here by Agnes. Still gonna take him out, no problem.
Someone in chat says scripted as hell. This is just pro wrestling. Word.
I mean, Nero does got those pro wrestling chops.
True.
And what is Mecha doing?
Giving
What-
us somehow.
Oh man, is he waiting
way.
for Ren? Kidding? Is he waiting for him?
I think
Collusion?
he is.
Collusion?
Cheats, dude. This is to prove me that this isn't scripted or segmented or pre-recorded.
Now, if you're Mecha, like, this is cool and all, but you gotta win if you're him. Otherwise,
Right though,
it
yeah.
looks silly.
This is gonna look a little silly if you decide to wait for honor, you know.
But I respect
Alright.
it. I respect it.
He might have already thought he lost because of the mission 6, you know. Who knows? There we go. Okay, now he heads into mission 20 here as Ren wraps up Agnes. And now Sanctus, the leader of the Order of the Sword, has attained the power of the sword Sparta, the sword of Dante's father. And he is like trying to, you know, become a god, basically. At this point. Well, he's almost ascended to god status, I guess. So Nero's got to take him down once and for all. What is he doing, man?
Punch Old Man, the last chapter.
Alright. So I guess
All
it
right,
comes
then.
down to mission 20 here.
I
Let's
guess
go.
so. Is Mecha deciding to play? He's like, I want to beat you like a man, dude. All right, here we go. Really nice gunshots there to stun the boss, take him down. Roulettes. And grab. Ren not doing as clean of cycles here on Sanctus. Gonna get the shield pop there. Gonna have to do it over again.
Both of them got it though, right?
I think so. I mean, Mecha's definitely gonna wrap this up a little bit quicker.
Well,
Gonna be
yeah.
able to skip one of those grab things. That's a new cycle there. That's a new tech phase.
Oh,
Yeah, this is about to be GG.
Oh
So we got to do 3 grabs here, and we'll see what goes on. Ooh, the style.
Ooh.
That's time for Mecha, I think. Hold on. Oh my gosh, dude.
No way.
No way, dude. Oh my goodness. This man.
If this costs me my bet, I swear to God, Mecha.
Oh goodness. And Ren here heading into that final bit. Oh. Let's see here. And time. Oh. Time for Ren. And then time for Mecha.
GG.
GG. All right, fellas. My man Ren Zero with the with the win. y'all get to save them children. The absolute collusion by Mecharazium.
Monka W, dude.
Honestly, that was a really entertaining race, though.
That was an
big
incredible
shout outs
race.
to both these runners because they kept it real close, and it was exciting. Had a lot of fun.
Ren asks
Yep.
if he wins.
You did win, Ren. You did by 2 seconds. Maybe like 1 or 2. By 0.5 seconds.
5
Okay.
seconds, holy hell.
Oh my goodness. Friendship wins. Mecha.
Mecha being Mecha. You remember those old 3D movies? I could just paint the one on the left red and the one on the right blue and just wear the glasses and watch this in 3D at this point.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, new game Devil Hunter with Nero and Dante. Once again, my name has been DE Cosmic. Well, it still is, I guess, but it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you to Speed Docs for having us on. Gentlemen, off to you.
Yeah, my name's Scruffington. Big shout outs to Mecharazium, Ren Zero, and also everyone for watching. So it was a really cool race to commentate, and I'm excited to see the rest of the event.
I am Bloodfish the One. This was a great pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen, first of all. Thank you, Speed Dogs, and thanks, Mecharazium and Ren. This was actually really exciting. I was glad to be here, and it's 4:30 a.m., so it's something.
All right. Thanks, guys. We're just going to go to a quick intermission, but we'll be right back.